Hi, everybody. Welcome back and happy Monday. All right, guys. Well, we have honestly so many amazing topics. I hate taking a day off. I really do. Jason sometimes has to force me to take a day off. But when I do, what I guess the most exciting part about it is I come back and it's just like story overload. And I'm like, oh my God, there's so much stuff to talk about instead of having to like look for it, you know? But in the meantime, I know that yesterday was Super Bowl Sunday. I hope you guys were rooting for the Seahawks. If not, I'm sorry that your team lost. There's a lot of controversy about the halftime show. There's a lot of things that are being said all across the board. So we're going to discuss, multiple topics. If you guys haven't already, go ahead, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And smash the like button. By the way, too, I know that Valentine's Day is right around the corner. We are still going on with our collab with Rose Forever. So if you guys haven't checked out rhoseforever.com, go check it out. Use code all caps AdamVDay20, get $20 off your purchase. And I think it's probably the best thing that you could purchase. Yeah. So let's go.
Hi.
Hello. Oh,
what's going on? Happy Monday, everyone.
I was like, my camera went out and I was like, oh no, if my camera goes out, because sometimes it goes to the MacBook camera and then it looks at like the under part of your jaw. And I'm like, oh no. No. We're not doing that.
Turn that shit off. Turn that shit off.
Turn that shit off. But
yeah, so my team won this weekend. Wait,
first of all,
I should have bet. You know, I told you the Seahawks give me that. I'm not a football watcher here. I'm not avid about I know a little bit about football, but not a lot. And on Friday, I said what are they called? The T-Hawk? I said the Seahawks.
Oh
my God, sorry.
Oh my God.
The Seahawks are going to win because they just sound like they're going to, win. So, and they did, So.
Well, it's so funny. You should have bet because I was talking to my dad earlier today and he was like, well, Kimmy and I ended up winning $1,000. And I was like, what? And he said, we both bet on the Seahawks. And I was talking to him. He was so excited because now he's ordering new motorcycle parts for his wife, my stepmom. Yeah. And my mom was so disappointed because she was like, this was the most uneventful game. It was like the Patriots kind of checked out and they weren't in it. A lot of people are saying that, but a lot of the controversy right now is around the halftime show. I think that this is a great place for us to start. But since Jason didn't watch, I'm going to just kind of I'm going to bring you up to speed. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the halftime show was Bad Bunny, right?
Right. Which I like.
Yeah. Right. And
I like his music. Yeah.
His music is predominantly in Spanish, so he comes on, he sings the whole halftime show in Spanish. And people had a problem with that because people were like, this is America. Like, you speak English. And if you don't speak English, get out of here. And it's like, okay, wait a minute, guys, hold on. America is a total melting pot, right?
1,000%. No one's from here except the Native Americans.
We have all kinds of, exactly. And we have all kinds of, ethnicities. We have all kinds of languages. We have all kinds of everything. So I don't think that that's necessarily appropriate to say. And now we have fellow housewives and Bravo celebrities who are under, scrutiny because they decided yesterday to, and it's not funny. I giggle when I'm uncomfortable, you guys, by the way.
Wait, why are you uncomfortable? Now you have me scared about what you're about to say that these housewives who really shouldn't be commenting on anybody with talent are saying.
Jill Zarin, Taylor Armstrong, a few people came forward and they were like, what the f is this? And, I think a lot of times too, especially
wait. Okay, go ahead. You just fucking lost me.
Do you know where Ricky Martin is from?
Puerto Rico.
Okay. So Bad Bunny is also
part of a boy band back in the day before he went solo. I forgot what the band was called. Back when I used to think Ricky Martin was so hot. Now I'm like, okay, he looks cute in Palm Royale, but he's not what was that? There was a band. He was part of a band can't remember
One
what
Direction.
it was. No, not One. It was way.
No,
This
I'm
is
kidding.
way before One Direction. It's even way before other Menudo. Thank you so much, Aurora, in the live chat. He was part of Menudo, and I used to love them too. I used to love listening to things in Spanish while I was learning Spanish. Like people,
It's funny because my mom said that to me earlier too. She was like, I said, what did you think about the halftime show? She's like, I don't know a word of what he was saying, but she was like, I think it's so beautiful when people sing in Spanish, because even though I don't know what's being said, I can vibe to it. I love it. And I was like,
I mean, it's like the only, I think it's like the only other music, like culturally, because I like a lot of different music. I love different music for different things. You know, being in Cirque du Soleil for so long, a lot of worldly music was around me all the time, and it was so fun to listen to. But my hips don't lie, and they just can't stop moving when I hear some really good salsa and some good. I love salsa. You know, I love some salsa, Adam. So like I'm a huge Victor Manuel fan. If you guys know who Victor Manuel is, so this was a great, whatever.
I'll be honest, like last Super Bowl, when we heard Kendrick Lamar and he's like, they ain't like us. But like when he starts rapping, you are like best friends with Erykah Badu. A lot of people don't even know who she is, but she set the precedence and the stage for Beyonce. Well, no, a lot of people do, but a lot of people don't. She never.
A lot of people don't, but a lot of people like. She kind of ended up being commercial. Cy, my friend Cy Smith, she's not commercial and she's amazing, but Erykah, she created this whole different realm of R&B, neo soul. So like. Right. That's a whole different thing, and it did pave the way for a lot of artists you see today. A lot, she's the only one who could hold a stage with some of the best hip hop artists in the world.
Agreed.
In my opinion,
like educated
my opinion,
100%. And like listening to Kendrick Lamar, there were a lot of moments, at the last Super Bowl where he raps so fast, and it's a talent. But I was like, I can't even fucking keep up with what you're saying. I don't even know. And my brother was like, oh my God, this is the shit. And now I'm seeing a lot of comments about this Super Bowl. And they're like, if you're going to sing in Spanish, at least go back and forth like Shakira and Jennifer Lopez did. Because she was like, born in the USA. And it was like,
okay.
Like it was just Shakira like took it over. This was total Spanish. So great.
And
why not? And actually what he did, and a lot of people didn't understand because you didn't watch it, so I'm just going to explain this to you. What he did with the stage and like the set was he gave like an ode to a lot of people in Puerto Rico who supported him growing up when he didn't have anything. He even brought this woman who used to give him like free food for him and his family. He brought her on the set. He actually recreated the storefront of her store, sang to her. He brought a little kid on, gave him his only or one of his Grammys. Like it just like there was a lot of actually storytelling in the performance. Yeah. Okay. So cool. Now, Jill Zarin ended up going on. This is what she said. And she deleted it right after. By the way, I do want to say too, she talked about, first of all, I'm going to say two things. One, how stupid of you for somebody who's so smart, how stupid of you to go on right before you're about to have a new show come on and piss off people. And then secondly, she said, well, Lady Gaga, like that was the only white person out there on the field. No, it wasn't. Alex Earl, who is actively on and off with Tom Brady. There are a few other people who were on the field who are also white, and that doesn't matter to begin with. But she was like, I didn't even understand who Lady Gaga was because of her facelift. And like, I didn't even recognize her. And then in the video, you don't recognize Jill. And I'm like, well, that's
girl.
Hypocrisy
Facelift 3. Yeah, exactly.
Here we go.
Okay. Oh my God. This is ready. I'm embarrassed for her already.
Thank you to CC Loves You. Let's go.
We all agree. I agree. I said it before that it was the worst halftime show ever. And it's 250 years that we're celebrating right now in the United States. And I just don't think it was appropriate to have it in Spanish. And quite frankly, I didn't need to see him grabbing his, G area. I think it was totally inappropriate. You've got all these young kids watching the Super Bowl, and he doesn't have to be grabbing himself every 5 seconds. Is he so insecure? Seriously, I didn't understand it. I don't speak Spanish. I would have liked to have known the words he was saying. To me, it looked like a political statement because there were literally no white people in the entire thing. I think it was a political statement, and I'm not taking a side one way or the other. I just do. I think it was an ICE thing. And I just think that the NFL sold out, and it's very sad because this was 75 years. And, you know, shame. And Lady Gaga got a facelift. I didn't recognize her. I literally had to Google her face to see who it was because we all couldn't who it was. So that was kind of fun in the middle of halftime. At least it gave me something to do because it was so hard to watch.
Oh,
thank you, Jill Zarin, for letting us know what is wrong with America. Like she's some football savvy person that she needs to get on and say this is the worst halftime show she's ever seen. Like Michael Jackson didn't grab his groin area when he was performing. Like this is not something new. You know what I mean? It's like this is something ridiculous. And for someone like Jill Zarin with zero talent except running your husband's rug business, you know, and someone like Taylor Armstrong, who like, what kind of eye do you have to be judging this? You know what I mean?
Let's get into this really quick. So you guys know,
God bless America. Literally, God bless
Dana,
America. We need
you
help.
guys know Dana, who we absolutely love over here. She has her Instagram account, The Bravo Investigator. She is great with the content and the post, and she said Taylor Armstrong has lost 3,000 followers since her racist story, which is still up.
I'm surprised she has any followers to lose. Like, why is she 195?
First of all, yeah,
that has to go down as like the worst follow in housewife history,
probably. And she said, "Were you entertained? I'm embarrassed for the NFL and Apple for the Super Bowl halftime show in Spanish with a Cuban flag. Girl, it's Puerto Rican. Put the drink down."
Put
you
the pills down.
Like it's
like, listen,
Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
Puerto Rican.
Oh my God, you're Spanish. Listen, mi abuela es de Mexico, pero mi español es muy mal. But I know more Spanish than a lot of people. You know, conversationally, I can get by. And also, like, don't listen. If you live in Europe, you at least speak 2 languages. Okay, this is not new. I don't know why it has to be so divisive. I feel like people are so angry now that they just want to find a problem to
with
make
everything.
you look with everything. It's everything. You know, it's like, oh, you're gay. Oh, you're black. Oh, it's in Spanish. It's like this just, you know what it really kind of shows. It shows how afraid people are, right? Like this all comes from fear. You know, things come from 2 places, love and fear. Everything comes from those 2 things. Okay. You're afraid. Why are you afraid? Learn some Spanish. You know what I mean? I mean, she knows enough Hebrew, right? So I'm sure learning some Spanish is a lot easier. You know, I just don't understand why these people who have no CV, no resume to judge anything like this are judging. Let me tell you a quick fun fact. So, you know, guys, I was in Cirque du Soleil for over a decade. For 13 years, I did 4,000 shows. I toured the world. I was one of the highest paid Cirque du Soleil performers. That's me right here behind me on a poster in Japan. And I'm telling you, I can tell you what's a good performance and not a good performance, but I'm not some washed up housewife telling you what's wrong. I can tell you what is right. I did hear a little bit. I didn't watch the whole performance, but my friend Anthony Dodd here, who we used to tour together, did the sound. So I thought everything was good. And on his post, he said, I am just a cog in a very big wheel making this all happen. There were a lot of people working, just like Heather Gay. There's a lot of people in production working to make the show happen, to make everything look good, sound good, whatever. So when you're sitting there and you're putting down this performance, we've had performers literally from all walks of life, from Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Madonna. Like, come on, guys. It's not a big deal. To be honest, Rihanna wasn't my favorite halftime show, but I still like Rihanna. You know what I mean? But like, this is just insanity. Like so many people, so many work and jobs go into this. And then I heard about another halftime show happening or something like that, like the alternate halftime show. And I'm like,
Charlie Kirk's wife.
I'm like, what are we doing? This creates division, right? So I just don't understand. And then I'm sorry, I'm on a rampage at him because I hate shit like this, especially from
No, I
people
love it.
who should not give their 2 cents on things they don't know about. You know what I mean? Jill Zarin knows nothing except drinking on television and acting like a fool. Okay. You don't know how to stand on a stage in front of 36,000 people, or stand on a stage in front of 4,000 or 2,000 and do it every night and do it live. You know, she doesn't know how to do that. So for her, I think her opinion is it's not relevant. Just like
Right.
this new show on E, if you keep this up, is going to be irrelevant. And then y'all are going to look like fools.
I was just gonna add this in really quick. It's like you have a lot of time on your hands. You have a lot of money. You obviously, after Bobby passed away, the whole Zarin brand, like, of course, like, you're absolutely taken care of. We understand that, and good for you, amazing. But with that, maybe sometimes instead of going out to lunch or doing tea or whatever, do what Jason does. Jason, when Jason's bored, he has an app and he teaches himself new words and new languages every fucking day. Oh, sorry.
I do. Yeah.
Almost every day.
What?
But like, it's like, you know,
I
lean
can say,
into
I can
that.
say fucking in other languages too, because, you know, I can speak other things, you know.
By the way, fun fact, I'm going to play one more video for you guys about this, but fun fact, I was caught cheating in Spanish class, you guys. I was in Spanish too. So in Florida, you have to take 2 years of a language, and I was so bad at it. And it was also in the age of the iPhone. So I got caught doing a translator. So then our teacher changed everything to, like, we had to do in groups of 4, like a verbal exam, and we would have to talk for like 5 minutes. And all I remember was mi padre es muy enfermo porque el coca. Okay. And she's like, your dad's sick because of cocaine. And I was like, take that shit to the guidance counselor.
Thank God for AI. Thank God these new kids can cheat with AI, where it doesn't give them this ridiculous sentence to say. Do you know, guys, there's 500 million people in the world speak Spanish. About 500 million people speak Spanish. So instead of complaining about the language that you don't know, maybe take 5 seconds and learn some stuff that you don't know that you can implement into your life. God, she sounds, you know what? I'm so sorry. This is the problem with Bravo. And this is the problem with Housewives and shows like Housewives. People don't want it anymore because of things like this. It feels archaic. It feels like there are old views. It feels like, you know, there are, I don't know. This now kind of makes you not really want to support their new show. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And Marianne,
I bet you he is like doing this right now. What did we do?
Yeah. I also want to address this really quick. Shame on you, Adam. I don't think that I said
think it's because you were
anything.
cheating. I think it's not a big deal. I think it's
okay.
They're playing with you. They're playing with you, Adam.
Okay, I was about to say I don't think that I said anything bad, but hold on.
Jill's got you all insecure over here.
Damn it, Jill. Take your ass back to West Palm, because we know you're not on the island, Henny. Here we go. Bethany Frankel.
And his performance at the Super Bowl is that he is an artist expressing himself, his music, his experience as a Puerto Rican man in America. If it's a country artist, they're expressing their experience and sharing their music and their culture. If it's a hip hop artist, I love Notorious B.I.G. and talking about his come up and his, you know, what he couldn't afford when he was eating sardines for dinner. So Bad Bunny is a Puerto Rican man in America on the largest stage in the world, which is very inspirational to people because that is him expressing his experience in his first language. Madonna said it best, express yourself. So my take on Bad Bunny.
Okay.
And that's my favorite halftime show of all time was Madonna, by the way.
I mean,
also directed by a Cirque du Soleil director, but yeah.
No, Madonna, of course. Like
Kendrick Lamar, his halftime show was also directed by a Cirque du Soleil director and former performer.
Well,
so, you know, I think Bethany knows, you know, Bethany was also the first in after the hurricane in Puerto Rico. Bethany, she knows better. She knows better. She's not trying to pinch anyone's nerves. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
She's not ignorant. She's probably the most analytical person who she doesn't I mean, she has opinions, but she always operates her conversations based off of statistics and facts. You know what I mean? And I think that that's listen, if I'm going to have a conversation with you, I would way rather have a conversation with you talking on facts and statistics than I would just like, well, I'm so offended. And speaking of which, there's
Horrible.
more.
God, man. Ew.
Since we're talking about Jill Zarin, Bethany Frankel ended up coming out and she totally supported this whole Golden Lives situation.
Yeah, I remember.
And she supported everybody. Jill Zarin had this.
Guys, thank you so much for all the love that you have given to me and to my sister wives, for taking the brave step of stepping back into the spotlight once again for me after
She loves herself so
like
much.
16 years or something like that, like 15 years, and getting the gang back together again and living our best fabulous lives in South Florida, our golden years. And I just want to answer a couple of questions because I'm like being haunted about one of them. One of the questions you have is about Bethany. So, you know, Bethany and I, when we went on the show years ago, we were friends and we had a really good time together. But that friendship, publicly dissolved. And years later, when she and I spoke about it, she told me the truth, which was that she wanted to be Beyonce and I wanted to be Lucy and Ethel. You can't be Beyonce and be on an ensemble cast. It doesn't work. And that's why I didn't ask her to be on the show, because I knew that wasn't what she wanted to do. And she's in a great place. I mean, I live basically down the block from her, and I'm watching her, live her best life publicly, sharing with fans everything that she's doing, branding and all that great stuff. And, there's a lot of things I respect about Bethany, and I'm sure she respects about me. And I appreciate all the, accolades that she gave to me. And I beyond appreciate her recognizing that. But I don't want, you guys to be disappointed, because you get to see all of us on social media.
So I'm just going to say really quick. I know it's like Jill Zarin.
Let me tell
Jill
you
Zarin,
how I can't even do that accent. Jeez.
It's
No,
like,
oh,
Jill
man,
Zarin, please
you
be
lost
quiet.
me.
But she went on and she said, she just talked about how Bethany Frankel was never really invited. But then Bethany, of course,
Yes,
she's
she,
not gonna
of
let this
course
go.
she.
So
what the-
I have made a conscious effort to protect my peace. I'm really happy. I'm really settled. I am significantly more successful than when I created Skinny Girl, because I've chosen to do things the way that I want to do them. And I love doing philanthropy. I love content creating. I love working with brands and the freedom of the life that I've created by living my truth. So I'm so happy for the women, and I'm happy for E. I think it's disruptive. I think it's interesting. I think it's big. So I have made.
She goes on to pretty much just let everybody know, like, I don't care what you're saying about me. If you think in some crazy world that they would do a reboot of a show where I was Beyonce on that show, just like Nene Leakes on Atlanta, if you think there's a real world where that happened, Jill, whatever you're trying to do, it didn't happen, And then Sonia Morgan, I'm not going to play another video. I could, but Sonia Morgan went on virtual reality and she was like, my God, she's the one who paved the way. She's amazing TV. Like, how cool is it for me to go into, she was like, Harrods, of course she said Harrods. And she's like, how cool is it for me to go into Harrods and be like, yeah, my co-star is on the cover of Forbes. And she's like, she is only an asset to what we do. And she's like, I will always champion it. She said, I know that she doesn't want to be on TV, but like, my God, if she did, I would welcome her any day. She's amazing. And she said, I was hanging out with her the other day and we got drunk and we made out. And I was like, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So
Tara in the live chat, this is such a great point. Can I just bring this up? I've seen so many operas in so many different languages, German, Italian. Some of my favorites I've ever been to are in Italian. But Tara says, would Jill be offended by an opera in Italian? Like, again, I think we talked about this on Friday. When you put yourself into a box, it's not very fun. When you it's some people like to be in a box. Jill might be one of those people where the things in the box, her little tiny box around her, when she looks around, it's all great and it's her world. But when you put that box down, there's such a different world out there. You know, it's not just your world. And I don't think this is a good kind of preview, you know, for this show of what's to come. Yeah. Because what it's saying to us, especially with Ramona on the show, and she's made all kinds of crazy statements, you know, now you're putting Ramona and Jill and Sonia and Luann, and I don't know. Now,
girl, you were the reason we didn't get the first legacy. Now you're about to tank this shit.
Yeah. I think maybe Jill Zarin is confused. She might actually be bad television. She might actually. And I think that's why, like you said, the first one tanked. The legacy tanked because of her, and maybe this is going to also tank because of her.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I also think that too. It's like, you know, Marianne Stout said Jill needs to think before she speaks. Yes, I agree with that. But
like a child,
you're living in a totally different time of where maybe when you were growing up, some things were a little bit more acceptable because, right, we go through different generations and we're always like working to improve as a society and as a whole. And like that applies to the entire world. Right. But like, you're living in like this like old school time where you think that these derogatory things that you're saying are not problematic and that they're okay. And it's like, you sound stupid. You sound ignorant.
The other thing too, you know, like I said, my sister is Mexican and she's my half sister, and my, you know, sorry, she, you know, and whatever, and I have a lot of cousins that live in Chicago. They're mixed. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you offend people without knowing that you're offending people. You know what I mean? I just feel like this was, I'm so sorry. I can't, like, you know, this is why, you know, I'm watching the Olympics right now. Okay. And, you know, I competed for the U.S. national team for years before I went to Cirque du Soleil. I didn't go to the Olympics. But I really enjoy watching people be the best at what they do and working hard to get there. And it's so inspiring and fun and such a reminder of how much greatness there is in this world. And they provide so much inspiration for people. I used to watch the Olympics and be inspired and want to do better. When Housewives started, it was fun. And we talked about this on Friday too. It was fun because they live a different life. It was fun because they were successful. It was fun watching Lisa Vanderpump with her restaurants. No Bethany, there was no blueprint, no footprint, like you said. And you know, I just, it was kind of inspiring in a weird way. You know, it's like, God, that would be so great. Like, I would love to, whatever. Thank God I got to work with. I got to do so many amazing things. I'm sorry. I'm so grateful. I got to work for Lisa. You know, we worked for Lisa and I learned a lot from her. Now it's becoming it's redundant. It's a little like weird. You have Salt Lake City are now trying to just attack one another to get someone off the show. You know, you have weird dynamics going on. You had, you know, on the other reverse side of this, what was her name who came on New York at the end? Ebony K. Williams came on and she, you know, brought a different side to it. And that kind of took the show down, New York down. And I don't know. Political, right? And we got to get past that. I think it's so nice to watch the Olympics. So I'm glad you guys mentioned that. It's so nice to see, you know, people doing the best at what they can do and bringing people together. I
agree. Okay, so we're gonna move this on, you guys, because I know that there's a lot of stuff to get through, and well, your boy really cracked his tooth, so I have a fun dentist appointment at 2 p.m.
Yikes. So I'm shocked you're here.
Somebody has an exposed nerve. I know this morning, you guys, I was in so much pain. I'm still in a lot of pain. I'm just gonna be transparent with you guys, but Jason this morning was like, "No, take the day off," and I'm like, "Are you joking? We don't do that. We don't take the day off. That doesn't happen." No. But, you know, what I wanted to do was go into the next topic really quick, because a lot of people are talking about the Amanda Francis of it all. Amanda Francis, there was this whole thing that came out, an article about her potentially quitting or leaving the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And she ended up coming out with her own post saying, LOL, this is not true. I have my final interview, Watch What Happens Live, and the reunion all on my calendar. But what I will say is, based off of this interview alone, and I love our girls over at Housewives Nightcap, she just walked herself off of a ledge anyway. So I'm willing, I will put $1,000 on this. If anybody wants to play the bet, like it's the Super Bowl, she's not coming back. Let me play a clip.
On Beverly Hills then.
I don't think it's very much fun. There's fun moments.
Of course.
There's fun moments. There's genuine moments. There's some really good off-camera moments,
of
right?
Course.
But no, I would not call it fun.
Who do you think you're closest with?
While we were, can I say filming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
While we were filming, absolutely Kyle. Kyle was very consistent, like very there for me, very the same on and off camera, like really a true good friend, period. We talked about all kinds of things related to the show and our past and who we were. And like, yeah, that was my strongest relationship. Sutton and I got to a good place by the end.
Okay. So how are you liking being on Beverly?
Okay, so she goes into this whole interview and she talks about the fact that she has not thoroughly enjoyed the process, which what you're in turn saying is that you don't feel like this was good for you. And now you're dealing with a network like Bravo and also NBC, who's constantly being sued like all over the place by people who feel not protected, not secure, and also cornered. So you're leading us into you feeling that way. Even if you do want to come back, I'm telling you, girl, fired for sure.
No, I think she already knows where she sits. I think, you know, I don't know what it is about Bravo casting. I was kind of thinking about this earlier because I was wondering bringing Rachel Zoe in and having this already cast. I wonder if they needed someone to pile on, and that's why they brought Amanda in. You know what I mean? Just to take the pressure off of, okay, we have Rachel Zoe coming back. She's a Bravo OG. They can all like find their dynamic while we shit on this girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That to me could have been something that could have happened. She didn't do herself any favors though, at all. Amanda has done herself zero favors. And by saying this, it's already her saying, hey, if I don't come back, it's because I didn't enjoy it. I said this in this interview. I didn't enjoy this.
Like she's protecting
herself.
herself.
It's not that fun. So I must move on with my life, even though she probably won't be offered a contract to come back anyway. So this is her just trying to get ahead of it, I feel.
You know, it's funny because she responded to Bozoma St. John Bose questioning what she does for a job, which we were laughing about a couple times ago, right? And when Bose questioned this and she saw it, she's like, Bose is just jealous because she wasn't able to build her own personal brand. And I'm like, girl, she literally built, she was a part, the cog in the wheel, like you said earlier, of building some of the biggest brands that are known worldwide. So like to say that Amanda Francis,
girl,
walk that
manifest
really
yourself a new life after Housewives.
I mean,
manifest away.
And also too, guys, Bose has gotten a lot of backlash. I think that this is silly, and I think that people have too much time on their hands. But Bose has received a lot of backlash because she ended up buying her daughter a $110,000 Maserati for her first car. And a lot of people feel like that's too opulent. That's too much. It's excessive. Why does she need a $110,000 car? I think I have a very different view. Mind you guys, I did not grow up like that. I would have obviously loved to. I think we all would. But if somebody works hard for their money, if Jason and I had millions of dollars and we had a daughter, I would put her in, if I could afford it. Yeah, I would put you in it.
If she deserves it. You know what I mean?
If you deserve, but
if
also
your grades are good, girl, if you're going to school and behaving,
student,
yes.
She's the sweetest sweetest girl, you know, like she went through the death of her father. She went through the death of like a sibling. She went through all of these moments with her mom. They're best friends, and her mom wanted to reward her for her academic success. Like,
right.
What are you mad at? Why are we like she can afford it? And their house is burned down in Malibu.
We said this earlier, Adam. People are looking for something to be mad at all the time. If you're wealthy, don't tell me what to do with my money. Okay? Because there is a reason that she got there. So let her do what she wants with her money. And yes, it's a Maserati. Someone just said in the live chat, it's the ugliest Maserati I've ever seen. I have to agree. If you guys have ever been in a Maserati, Maseratis, they run really like, I don't know. To me, you feel, yeah, you have. Who's? Absolutely. Our realtors.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, they it's very bumpy. I don't know. I don't know. It's not my favorite car, but you know what? Don't tell people what to do. They're all looking. Everyone's looking for something right now. It's so crazy. But this wasn't cringe to me because Bose has, like you just said, she has the resume. Okay. She's wealthy. She's done things. If she wants to buy her daughter a car, let her buy her daughter a car.
Boom.
Nice.
Case in point. All right, guys. So we're going to move on from that as well. I did want to talk about the fact that finally, I'm shaking my face because I need to numb my mouth. Yeah. Finally, we are getting.
I thought you were going to say finally. It has happened to me right in front
we're getting people who are opening their eyes. And it's wild because a lot of the fans are now questioning Heather Gay, her position, and the way that she's maneuvering behind the scenes from the reunion, but also with production. And now people are starting to get louder and louder about it, and they have problems with it. Meredith Marks, she told you, leave her alone. She said it. She said it 50 times. You guys didn't listen. And now she's also opening up. She said, well, for Whitney, who was like, Meredith, I think that you have a problem and this is really triggering to me. She's like, yeah, girl, you want to know what's triggering to me? The fact that you were drinking out of a flask liquor at 10 a.m. You had 7 glasses of wine before we even got on the plane, and then you had a bottle on the plane. So shut the up. And I was like, oof.
Kind of invalidates people's stories too. You know, all these girls were liquored up on that plane, so whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they were all liquored up at BravoCon. Yeah, of course they were. But then
just check an interview. Ryan, this season has been so good.
Well,
it's like, okay,
you know, Carlos
start with the carpet, don't finish with the carpet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Carlos King, who is one of the bigger producers on Bravo. You know, he's been having Monica Garcia. You guys know we're friends with Monica. He's been having her on chime in about a lot of things. I'm not going to play the clip, but you guys can see it in a different video that I post today. And she was chiming in about the whole Heather Gay being, you know, like a producer plant and, you know, pissing off production and all of this stuff. And he stands, I'm going to say on business, when he says, he's like, she is my least favorite person on Housewives ever because of falsely accusing a bunch of innocent people who put their lives on hold for a job to go film in a place that their family's not at, accusing them of like the whole physical assault thing. And he has an interesting take on it because he's like, you guys don't know behind the scenes how hard production works.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and then, you know, Monica started going in and talking about it. And she's like, listen, I have several problems with this because she was pointing out, you guys are all pissed off. And at the reunion, you're even yelling at Lisa saying, like, I know that you've been trolling us for years on social media under fake names and accounts. And she's like, I have not. I'm going to go to Wendy's. I have not. And Monica's like, wait a minute. You guys are saying that she's over here trolling you guys on fake accounts, but yet you cost me my job because I came forward about an account that I was a part of with like 5 other people to go after somebody who went to prison. And I was like, oh, dude, Monica Garcia.
There's points being made. There's points being
there's
made.
a lot of points.
There's points being made. You know, I don't know. I mean,
It's
I
a
feel
lot.
like it's a lot. I do feel
beaten to death, but it's a lot.
It's a lot. We know. We've been shown these accounts before. Okay.
Mhm.
We know when season 1 started, there were so many of them who had fake accounts, you
Mhm.
know, boosting their own relativity online and boosting their own image and stirring up stories and stuff like that. That's what I told you this Friday too. All of these ladies came on as caricatures, okay,
Mhm.
of themselves, you know. The caricatures that they built off watching Housewives, you know, but what makes Salt Lake so special is they keep it up. You know, they
Yeah.
still believe in their caricature, which I find this is why the show is special and it's fun. Heather Gay has gone from being the most relatable housewife, you know, from season 1 with her
She
David's
became a diva.
bridal, her David's bridal dress, her getting through her issues with Mormonism. You know, I grew up Mormon too, so I get what she was saying, and you know, to now it's A-list Heather, and it's like, bah, you're not, you know, and she's so protected because I think a lot of people like her. You know, I think you were the one who said it, Adam. All of these ladies kind of have a scorecard with the network on how they perform with the audience. Heather has a really good scorecard. People love Heather. People love listening to her. Was it Escaping Mormonism, or what was her was it Escaping? Because I always say it wrong.
Escaping
You know,
Mormonism.
yeah, they loved watching her on that. They loved listening to her. But I just find her the past couple of seasons, especially since the Monica thing, she's been looking for that repeat moment because that, you know, was a big moment for her.
That's so funny. I said that earlier.
Right. And she's become awful to watch. And watching the reunion, all 3 parts, she was chiming in on things that were not relevant to her at all. She was talking over people. She was inserting herself. This is why at times Lisa and Meredith shut up, because they're like, it's not going to get through. And then just kind of watching her eye Whitney across the way, she was like kind of making sure Whitney was like staying on point. I'm like, you've gotten too big for your britches, girl. She's gotten too big. She's gotten thinner, but she's gotten too big for her britches, you know?
Jesus.
Okay. Paid for that though.
Yeah. Well, speaking of things like just opportunities and opportunities missed and whatnot, I don't know if you guys saw this. We're going to move on from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City because I did a video. I'm actually surprised. I posted it on Instagram too, like a reel. And I think it's at like 1.5 million views. And I was like, I did not think that people were going to be interested in this. But if you guys didn't see this, thank you to Bravo Snarkside. I don't know if you remember Lynn Curtin. I've received a few text messages about this, even from Gelsey, our friend. Heard. And her daughter was caught up with by a random bystander, a civilian. And this is what she said.
Civilian.
Well, it was just like a friend that I was hanging out with. Unfortunately, he passed away. Yeah, I was in a bad car accident. I'm missing 2 fingers. As a result to like the drug use and shit. So yeah, it kind of sucks.
Where's your parents?
My parents live down in San Diego.
Sorry?
San Diego?
San Diego. Okay, are they in your corner? Like, do they kind of have your back through this thing, or are you kind of cut off?
I'm kind of cut off right now until like maybe I get sober, and then they're gonna maybe like supply me with money again. But right now they don't want anything really to do with me.
This is so sad. So I'm not going to play the entire video. I obviously already made a video on this, you guys. But so Lynn Curtin's daughter comes forward saying that she moved to LA. She got really, really bad on drugs. She got into a car accident. She lost these 2 fingers. And she's still on drugs, and that her family wants nothing to do with her until she gets sober, because I'm sure there's been a lot of problems behind the scenes. People were not expecting that, but I don't know if you guys remember when Lynn was on the show, her daughters were ridiculous. Like, they were just assholes to their parents. They were assholes. I can say that. They were so mean, and they were like, "Mom, give us money and shut the f up." And it's like, oh my God, you do. First of all, we don't talk to our mom like that. And secondly, who are you? Go get a JOB, get a CAR, and get OUT.
Yeah, but how did they come to expect that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, how do you come to start expecting that? How do you come? That's where it is. It's like when you live in these places, it's like what you teach your kids. You raised your kids like this. You raised your kids to be disrespectful. See, this thing is a lot of people, or a lot of parents, in my opinion, because I think I can say this, even though I don't have kids, I have a lot of nieces and nephews that I love tremendously. They're being raised by very great parents, and their parents are very responsible for them. But a lot of parents are like, I don't know where that came from. It came from you. It came from you. That's where it came from. But this to see, what's happening now. That's so sad.
It's sad.
Like, this is really sad. And I actually don't know who this housewife is. OC was never on my playing cards back in the day. So the housewife.
She was the one that always made those little god awful cuffs and fought with her husband in the park. Because you brought it up to me because remember she found out that they were broke, like kind of actually like the real OC show that you got me on.
Yeah.
And like she found out that the husband was broke and that they were about to lose everything. And she's like, "Why did you let this happen?" He's like,
right. I don't remember her though.
Yeah.
I just remember that scene, and that's what I showed you that, but I don't remember. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, guys. Sending all the love.
Wait, just getting back to it. Sending the love, but this is what I was saying Friday. Right now, Mary Cosby's son is going through a lot of stuff publicly. Whether he likes it or not, he is exposed to this, and these kids, they have to be. I mean, he's old enough to I guess say no, but he's living at home. I just think it's sad when the kids are a product of the show that didn't work. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
My brain's not trying to function. I just wish that their mishaps and their things weren't so in front of the kids, weren't so in front of people, or responsible for storylines and stuff like that.
Well, and then, like where I was going to segue into, and I think it's a great segue because then you have somebody like Yolanda or even Lisa Rinna, whose daughters are incredibly successful, some of the highest paid supermodels in the
most successful Nepo babies you ever have seen.
The most successful Nepo babies. But did I share this with you on Last Hot Messy?
No.
Okay.
No.
Hold on.
Oh, wait. Did we talk about this? I don't know. Let's do it again.
It comes off in the book that you're not in a good place with Andy Cohen at that moment. I don't know where you stand with him today.
I'm fine with him today.
Yeah, I was going to say, because did you get in contact to say, look, I'm sharing a book, warts and all, and here are some of my feelings that I felt in that moment? No, there was no.
No, he's written his own books and done what he's done. I think he put my personal text messages
well, that's what I was
in
gonna
his
say,
book.
Because you say in the book, you say he actually reached out to say, Rinna, you're in my book, which you said had never happened before prior. So you knew it wasn't going to be good.
Well, I had an idea. But then when I read it and they were personal text messages to basically my boss.
Yeah.
And to have them show up in a book, I was like, wow.
You describe, and there's so much.
Do you think it's effed up that he put her in the book without her knowledge? That's what I was going to ask you.
I mean, no, I think now everything's just out in the open. I don't know. I think she would have done the same thing.
I mean, but also too, because I have a real problem with that. People like sharing my voice notes or my personal text messages and stuff like that. Like, it really just it chaps my ass, and I just get frustrated.
I don't like that either. Yeah, 100%. Especially if you're having a conversation about something, that's very whatever. And then, my friend Josh, and some of you guys know this too. I also hate when people use information like that you've shared, like in a personal sense, like, hey, I just want to tell you this in not secrecy, but in what's it called? And when you want to share something in confidence.
Yeah.
When you share something in confidence with somebody, then later they use it against you. And it's like they use your information against you. Like Josh always says, I hate that. And I'm like, I hate that too. Because it makes you think that you have no one that you can trust and stuff like that. But in the entertainment industry, I find that the entertainment takes precedence over the personal relationship and whatever things you were told in confidence. And that's exactly what happened here. And I think it would have been done the other way as well.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to cut you out there, Mr. Mrs. And before we end up going, because I saw where somebody said, by the way, on here, and mind you guys, I normally do not cut lives short. You guys know that. Well, I have before for sure. There was one time
Wait, can I tell you a story? Can we tell this story really quick? Am I allowed to say this?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, so when we first moved to Florida, we were like we were live all the time though. So you got to give yourself some credit. We were live, 5-6 days a week, I think. You know, you were doing a morning show and then we had recaps. And I just remember, I think we went to like a happy hour before and the live was later in the day or whatever it was.
We went to a happy hour for sure.
Yeah, we got on here and Adam goes, so guys, like we're here to recap the Real Housewives of OC. And, you know, this happened, that happened, not much happened. So well, anyway, guys, hit the like button. See you later. And it was like 7 minutes. And then you ended the live. I was trying to keep it going. And you ended the live.
And I was like, well, this was great. It was great.
7 minutes. We didn't even talk about the show. You were just like, we're good to go.
No, guys, it got privated really fucking quick.
Really quick. That was so funny.
We were like,
but we laughed about it with members. We laughed about it the next live. It was fun, but you know, now we don't have the, you know, we don't do that now. We can't do that. The stakes are too high.
No. I mean, also too, I think that we really thoroughly enjoy going on and having longer discussions. And I think that when it feels seamless and we don't have somewhere to go, it's just easy for us to do that. So I'm good with it. But with that, you guys, I do have to go get ready and I have to go to the dentist and go fix a cracked tooth. But don't forget, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Check out Rose Forever and use code, all caps, AdamBDay20, one word. And get your little discount on that. Let me know and then send me photos. And Jason, was there anything that you feel like we missed?
No, but we will be back on Wednesday for Hot Messy Topics to cover Below Deck, which you have the second episode of Below Deck Down Under, which the housewives are doing a good job of ruining at the moment. But it's nice to see the other perception, the other camera angle from the other crew. So I'm excited for tonight's episode. I'm excited to get some housewives off of it so we can start paying attention to our crew. I'm excited.
Yes.
I do like the crossovers though, so I don't want to be a hypocrite here. I love the crossovers.
We love the crossovers.
Yeah.
Oh, and Maddie, do we know the actual cult Amanda was in? Life lesson. She was able to grift into a career. No, she said it was like a cult. She didn't clarify if it was a cult, so we don't. But thank you, Maddie. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. How did she lose her fingers? They said it was in a car accident. So I just wanted to make sure that was known. Lisa Corner said, so what, she's into money, so why not spend it on her daughter? Boom. Everybody just mind your own business. It's great.
Yeah, Jill.
Yeah.
Taylor Armstrong.
Yeah, Jill.
Mind your own damn business.
All right, guys. Smash the like button. Show some love. Get subscribed. Hit the notification bell. And we'll see you soon. Love you. Bye.
Bye, guys.